Hey, what's up? It's your host, Torry, and who is ready to be petty? Welcome back to the podcast. Today I talked to Preston from the Global Unknowns podcast, and he is an avid TV watcher, so we get into a lot of reality TV things. We recorded it last week, but unfortunately I got a cold, so I've been self-isolating. I live in a smaller town. It's like maybe 350,000 people on an island, and we have one test center that answers the phone for the whole island, and I haven't been able to get through. So I thought the safest thing to do before I get COVID testing, I know it's not as easy as going through a drive-thru or something like that. I've seen those TikToks. I thought the safest thing to do was to just stay at home for the recommended 10 days after the onset of my symptoms. I'm feeling a lot better, and I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but I'm glad that I can finally get this episode out. We talk about the premiere of Dancing with the Stars, and there's been 2 episodes since then, and if you have not seen the Sky Jackson, like, ripping the hair off of her partner while she's falling gif, I highly recommend you check it out. Anyways, let's get to the show. I'm here with Preston from the Global Unknowns podcast. Preston, how are you?
I am doing excellent, Tor. How are you today?
I'm well. It's busy. I don't think we've chatted about this too much, but I work at a university, so it is a busy time of year, but I am so glad to be podcasting with you tonight.
Oh, yes, pleasure, man. Thanks so much for having me on.
Yeah, no worries. Preston slid into those RTBP DMs and said he's ready to be petty, and I was like, okay, we have to book something ASAP. Preston, do you want to tell the listeners of the podcast a little bit about Global Unknowns?
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, my name's Preston. I'm go by Drew on my podcast. We are the Global Unknowns. It's me, my older brother Eric, and my cousin Julio. We call him Swoop. It's a play on names from Transformers that my brother gave him way back in the day. But our podcast is mainly just 3 dudes just chopping it up, and we talk about everything. There's like nothing off limits, and we go in on stuff. Nothing scripted. It's all off the top, and we just go at it.
Yeah, it's a really refreshing podcast. I think that, well, obviously you just know your brother and your cousin super well. So, yeah, nothing is really off limits. I was listening earlier today, and like the first question you asked is like, how's your mental health doing? And I was like, I love that, because you don't see that a lot, especially with men talking about, I don't know, kind of how they're doing. So it's super refreshing.
Yeah, it's an awesome thing, man. And I try to make sure we check on each other every episode. And a thing with me with mental health and everything, with me having anxiety, and I know other people go through it. And my wife, she has a little bit of anxiety herself she deals with. But with me checking on them, that lets them know that I care. And the first thing with people in mental health with issues like that, to let them know you care means a lot to them. So that's why I try to say it, every episode. Hey, fellas, how's your mental health? That's a question we ask each other every single episode.
I absolutely love that. And yeah, I actually don't talk about anxiety or depression too much on the podcast, which is so surprising because it's such a big part of my normal life. So maybe I'll get into that in a future episode if that's of interest to the listeners. But yeah, I love how just like straight up and transparent you all are about that. Do you ever feel like the pressure to just say like, I'm doing okay, or I'm good, even if you're not, just because of the podcast?
No, I mean we've been open and honest on that. And I told my brother in the beginning, like, if we're gonna do this, we always got to be very honest about what's going on. If we engage with people and people start to engage with us, they need to know how we're feeling and what's going on, because if you gain that core audience, they're gonna want to see what you're doing. They become one with you. They become family. So as us embracing them, to just let them know how we're doing just goes a long way.
Completely. And that's actually kind of relevant to what we're going to talk about today, because we're going to talk about Keeping Up with the Kardashians, which is all about fake TV. And then we're going to dissect some baby names that have recently come out from some popular celebrities. And then last but not least, we're going to follow it up with a little bit of Dancing with the Stars content, which I truly did not think I was ever going to be podcasting about, because I know we'll get into it, but like I hate Dancing with the Stars. I absolutely hate it. Like if you asked me this a year ago, like I would have laughed, but I watched everybody's dances. So yeah,
I'll be honest with you. I have never watched an episode until you like threw that out there, and I was like, okay, I'll check it out just so I can be good on it to talk about.
I apologize immensely.
It was actually enjoyable. I saw something that I was impressed by some of those people that I didn't think could dance.
Okay, I cannot wait for that. I'm like so excited. So, like I mentioned before, we're going to talk about the Kardashians recently, mainly on their Instagrams, which is an interesting point, I think. Kim and the rest of the family announced that Keeping Up with the Kardashians is no longer after their next season, the 20th season. Yeah, after 14 years. They've decided to not move on with the show. What were your initial thoughts?
Actually, didn't really give a damn, just to be honest. It's to a point now that I think society itself shouldn't be trying to keep up with the Kardashians. Like it's more of a cliche type thing that's trying to keep up with them, because we honestly don't really know what goes on behind those cameras. Like you could put up a facade and make like everything's peachy every episode, but we see what Kanye doing on Twitter. He got banned yesterday. We saw what Tristan did to Khloe with Jordan Woods, and they said Larissa Pippen, but he went back to him. So
yeah, that is such a good point. Like I was thinking about the full 20 seasons. And I literally cannot even remember when there was like a last good episode, because I think that the first couple seasons, like maybe 1 to 3, 1 to 5, were good because they were still like unknown celebrities. But now I feel like when you're watching the TV show, you're just watching, yes, like you said, PR. Like if they made a mistake, like I was thinking about Kendall Jenner's Pepsi commercial, and she just like maybe tweeted an apology and then kind of moved on, and then on the TV show it like was kind of the big apology tour, like showing about how she was so upset. Like so
it was one episode though.
Oh, absolutely. It's like I feel like it's like, okay, something bad happened and we'll just wait 5 months and then clear it up on the TV show.
Yeah, it's so I don't want to use the word stupid because that's this very cliche to say about the show, but it's so it drags it out because you see what happens. Like, okay, we'll use the Pepsi commercial as an example. She knew she was wrong. I mean, I saw the Pepsi commercial. I was like, wow, it's a little too much power y'all giving the Kardashians. But to see her apologize, and the apology on the episode was like 7 minutes. Like I went back and I kind of figured you were going to bring that up, and I went back and I looked, and it was like 7 minutes in an hour-long episode. So she really didn't give a damn what happened. It was just, let me put this out on TV so the sheep who watch this show can be like, okay, she's very sincere. She meant what she said. No, she didn't.
No. Yeah, you're exactly right. It's like the people that are still watching will just give them this like fake version of like what actually happened. And I just don't think that these types of TV shows, when they are so available on social media, work anymore, because
yeah, like we've just mentioned before, like an incident will happen. There'll be crazy drama, a huge scandal. But then it's like, why do I want to relive it 6 months later? Like, yeah, it was something that I actually have not watched the TV show in a really long time. I see clips, I see things online, but I don't think I've like steadily watched in years.
But the thing with it is, I mean, if you do your homework and your research and you go back and you see how this show came about in the first place, like it was all from Kim doing what she did with Ray J, and Chris capitalized. So honestly, they owe everything to Kim.
Oh, for sure. And I hope that they know that, like, not only the start, but the longevity of their careers is
Their
all
relevance
Kim. Yeah.
is based on Kim.
100%. Yeah.
And it's so funny to me, like, you know, a lot of people, oh, well, Kylie's the billionaire. Kylie wouldn't be Kylie if it wasn't for Kim.
Totally. She made the blueprint for Kylie, and everything Kylie does, like, truly was carved by Kim. And a percentage Chloe and Courtney.
Courtney
I
is
forgot.
Courtney has to be the lamest one of all. She's so ungrateful. She's just a real ungrateful chick for what Kim has done for her. And she's always said, well, we worked the dash when you know when she went out and did what she did and made you all who you are now. You should always pay homage to Kim.
Yeah, I know. And like Courtney has just not been into the TV show, like filming at all. So it's just like cut it off now before I think it further goes downhill. Because, yeah, the plot lines just seemed super set up, super fake.
Efficient now.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny. I was thinking, do you know the TikTok star Addison Rae, who's been hanging out with Kourtney Kardashian?
I'd seen something about it. I don't even use TikTok. I think TikTok is a mindless thing as well. So.
Yes. Oh my God. Please preach. Literally, but like I'm on it and it's awful. Like, please, like, I wish that like in my heart of hearts, I know it's absolutely the worst thing ever, but I am still on it. But it's basically this 19-year-old girl that's come up through TikTok is hanging out with Kourtney, and it's just so weird to me. And I feel like the person who's most affected by this Keeping Up with the Kardashians like cancellation is Addison Rae, just like shaking her little fist like I could have been featured on that show and now my opportunity's gone.
Kourtney's my age. Kourtney's 40. Like,
I know. What do you talk to a 19-year-old about?
I have a 21-year-old son, and I can barely listen to the music he listens to, more or less carry on conversations.
Honestly, it's so weird. And yeah, I always see Kourtney, Mason, and Addison hanging out, and Mason's like 11 or something like that. And it just seems...
Mason probably dating her. Like...
Oh my God. Yeah, I bet he's loving it. But yeah, I was surprised by the news, but I'm not actually super, super upset.
Yeah, I knew it was coming. I mean, because like you said, the storylines and the plots are getting kind of misconstrued and they're grasping for straws now. Like they're going out, they're setting people up just to make storylines. Because if you look back to Tristan and the Jordan thing, really, and Jordan's out here, she's blossoming now. Like she's on top of everything now. So actually, they helped her.
Yeah. Well, just being adjacent, if you're on the good side or the bad side of the Kardashians, I think that's a boost in fame, because I feel like it's still like you either love them or you hate them, type of mentality.
But I will say this though. I mean, and yesterday I was at work and I tweet a lot too. I'm on Twitter all day, every day. And Twitter's my TikTok. And I'm watching Kanye just go at it yesterday.
That was wild. He was releasing all of the
his Universal contracts.
Yeah. Between him and his music company.
Because he wants his masters and he wants ownership of his own music,
Yeah.
which I can understand that. I mean, because most artists and like I say, with us podcasting and everything, you should always try to own your own content and everything like that, which is big now. But with him trying to do that, and then the way he went off yesterday when he peed on the Grammy and everything, I'm like, dude, what are you're doing too much. Like,
oh, way too much. I remember you messaged me because I was talking about Kanye and you were like, don't even give this kid airtime. It's really, really hard to watch. Like it's like the whole presidential run, and it's really hard to, I don't know, just
and I was a fan of Kanye. Like, I like old Kanye. College Dropout, Late Registration, The Graduation. That's my Kanye. And even 808 and Heartbreaks is still one of my favorite CDs of his. But this guy now, and I will say this, he makes the most comfortable shoe I've ever worn on my feet. Yeah, I'm a huge sneakerhead, and I have tons of Jordans and everything, but my Yeezys are by far my favorite pair of shoes.
That's wild. Are you going to continue to buy them and like support that?
Yeah. My comfort of my foot is more important than ever Kanye.
That's honestly, that's fair. I respect that. Anything else you want to say about the Kardashians before we move on?
I want to wish them well and good luck on your future endeavors, and don't come back to TV. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Goodbye and good riddance. I'll probably watch reruns or at Christmas time when there's nothing else on TV, and that's about it. Like, truly.
You're supposed to watch A Christmas Story on Christmas time. You don't have to watch that crap.
For some reason, on this Canadian channel, every Christmas, it's like a week 24/7 keeping up with the Kardashians marathon. So that's when I just like nail them all down.
And I'll say this, and we can move on from it. Here in America, in where I am, it's a channel, the E Network.
Yes, E Network, yes.
You can turn it on E any time of the day, and it's the fucking Kardashians all day.
I know. Well, that's like their main bread and butter. Like, I guess that's something we could just add, is like that's what E, I feel like, is known for.
And Ryan Seacrest has
milked that baby.
Cool money on them guys. So
100%. Yeah.
Kudos to Seacrest.
Yeah, man never sleeps. The next thing we wanted to talk about is baby names. I think it's been a running joke forever that celebrities decide to name their kids wacky things. And recently in the Ready to Be Petty Facebook group, I put out a little poll of some recent names and wanted to see what was craziest. And I'm going to get your live reaction about what you think of them. And you're a dad yourself, so yeah, is that something like you think about a lot when celebs come up with crazy names? Like, why couldn't I do that? Or
I want to know what they're smoking while they're naming those kids that stuff sometimes. You got to always remember, like, you can be the child of a celebrity, but it's depending on that celebrity to take care of that child. Like, you might be one of those celebrity kids that the parents like, okay, go out and get a job. Let me see if you worth your salt. But you got to write Apple Paltrow on a application.
Oh my God. Yes. Yeah. Like, what about if one of these kids wants to be like a fucking accountant and they're just like, great, now like blanket is my like first name. Like,
that is the stupidest shit I've ever seen in my life. Yeah.
It's so hard to listen to because it just seems like they're just living in such a bubble. Like, us normal people could never get away with this shit.
Hell no. Blanket, Apple, Pax.
Even the Kardashians. Rain, Stormy, Dream. Yeah, not my faves. True.
True Thompson.
Yeah. True Thompson.
Little
Yeah.
TT. But hold on, you can't. All right, you got to say all those names, but you can't leave the queen out. Kim, North, Chicago, Psalms, Saint,
I actually like North.
Northwest,
Yeah, I actually like Northwest.
Saint West,
Not my favorite.
Chicago West.
Yeah, I don't mind people naming their kids after cities. Chicago doesn't have like a nice. I like that they call her Shy.
It doesn't roll off the tongue as good.
No.
Chicago. Come here, Chicago.
No. Yeah.
You might name your dog that.
Yes. Yes, it doesn't. Yeah. Like, I think some names, like London, if you named your kid London or something like that, like it makes sense. But yeah, Chicago, it just sounds maybe, I don't know, too out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then Psalms. I'm not a religious person, so I don't know. It sounds to me.
I didn't see that one coming out.
To me, it sounds like they're saying Sam with like a British accent, to be honest.
Come in, Psalms.
Psalms. Like they just tried to make it fancy.
But I mean, look at the parents of Kanye.
Yeah. And Kim was all the K names, right? Like they, yeah. So obviously put like a lot of effort in.
And I don't know what the hell was going on with Rob, but Rob's another story.
He truly, truly is. I feel like he comes up all the time, and
I'm not trying to double back to that, but we never mentioned Rob.
No, we never do. Yeah, that's the problem, right? But yeah, he has Dream, which again, I like naming kids after like Dream is obviously like brings up nice memory or like a nice feeling, but it doesn't seem to, kind of. I don't know. It doesn't sound good.
Like I say, we were talking before this, and I told you I was going to tell you my kids' names.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, I'm a huge TV buff. Like I watch a lot of television.
Yes.
And one of my favorite shows was Entourage.
Yes.
On HBO. So
yes.
And Ari Gold was my favorite. And me and my brother, we quote Ari all the time on the phone. So when I had a daughter, I always wanted her middle name to be Ari, just so I could call her Ari Gold. So my daughter's, my 10-year-old, her name is Shiori Ariane, and I call her Ari.
I love that.
Yeah, and Shiori is Japanese. My baby girl, my 5-year-old, I was a big fan of Gossip Girl.
No way.
Yeah, so, and Blair Waldorf was my favorite character. So my youngest daughter is named Leighton after Leighton Meester.
I love that.
Yeah, and me and her we share a middle name. My middle name is Drew. Her middle name is Drew, so it's Leighton Drew.
That is such a good name. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love Leighton Drew. That's so nice.
Yeah, we were gonna go with Reese at first because I was always a Reese Witherspoon fan too, and I was gonna name her Leighton Reese or Reese. It was Leighton. Yeah, it was Leighton Reese or Reese something. I can't remember what the middle name was, but we played around with it and Leighton Drew kind of stuff.
I love that. I love Drew. Especially for girls, I think that's, so cool and really classic. Like, I think that's another thing when I think of these celebrity names is like, they're cool now, but will they be cool in 50 years when this person's like an adult? And I think that both of those names, Shuri and Leighton, are super classic.
Because you got to think these kids got to get older. Eventually, they got to try to get a job, or if they want to run a corporation or a company, it has to have something strong behind it. So you got to think of the longevity of your kid. So that's why you should always remember whenever naming a child, you got to name them something that will stick later on. You don't want to name them nothing too wild because it'll backfire on you later on in life.
Yes, and I really hope it backfires on these people that we're about to talk about, honestly. They deserve it after this.
Oh,
okay.
Gosh.
The first one I have for you is Lyra Antarctica Seaborne Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran's daughter.
Yes, from Ed Sheeran and his wife, Cherry.
I'll say this. That kid never has to worry about money because Ed is dumb loaded.
Yeah.
Like, he can name her whatever the fuck he want to name. That kid ain't never going to have to work. I didn't know Ed Sheeran is as rich as he was. Ed Sheeran is crazy rich.
I know. Because I think he does a lot of songwriting for like One Direction and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So he has probably all these royalties coming in that we don't even know about.
Exactly. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like I say, if you think about it, some of these celebrities who name their kids, some of them ain't going to never have to worry about anything. And that's Antarctica. She going to be all right.
I actually here's the thing. Okay, so Lyra Antarctica Seaborne Sheeran. I just think, why the double middle name? Why? I actually don't think Lyra is that bad. Antarctica, it's a 4-syllable word. It's so bad. And then Seaborne is just so harsh, it seems like. And I know it's after a movie or a book or something that him and his wife enjoy, but it doesn't, there's no, I don't know, the initials are LASS, LASS. None of it's good to me.
Once you break it down in that sense, yeah.
Is bad. The middle names are bad, but I guess people don't lead with their middle names usually. I guess you do, but typically. So this girl's not going to be able to, but.
No. It's going to be Lyrica Sheeran.
Yeah, but I feel like everyone knows someone that's you can't look at my driver's license because I don't want you to know my middle name, or you'll never guess my middle name because it's so bad, and that's going to be her.
I have a cousin with a weird middle name, and I won't say it on here because he'll kill me if he ever listens to this episode. So I won't say it, but it is atrocious. It's just bad.
And it sucks. It sucks for those people, especially I think because middle names are usually often something you've passed down from your family. So maybe I feel a lot of times it is a more outdated or older name. So people aren't always into it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the next one I have for you is Wynn Harrison Wilson, Sierra's new baby.
Oh, for Russell Wilson.
Yes.
Did you see that contract Russell Wilson just signed? Wynn will be okay.
But your name is Wynn.
He woke
tough.
up a winner.
Yeah. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah,
I think Russell Wilson just signed a $300 million contract.
Oh my God, that is wild. I can't even imagine.
And if Patrick Mahomes has a kid with his high school sweetheart, that kid will be okay. He signed a $500 million contract.
People should get paid what they do for sure, but that is just ridiculous when there's so many people just struggling.
Yeah, but I mean, Sierra's son is named Future.
Yeah, true. So there's Win and Future.
Yeah, Future Win.
Future Win. I think again, it's kind of these names that are, just things in everyday life. They don't sound too bad, but I don't know. They just don't sound like names. I do for girls, it reminds me of the book Tuck Everlasting, Winnie, but Win just isn't great.
Keep coming. I want to see what else you got.
Okay, before we move on, I do like Harrison, but yeah, I just can't get down with Win.
Do you think you named it after Harrison Ford?
I don't know. I was also thinking about Meghan and Harry's baby,
Archie,
but his middle name is, I think, isn't it Harrison? kind of same vibe.
But I mean, why would you name the kid Archie though? You just want him to feel old and it's like Benjamin Button now, man.
I know, it's such an old man's name, and then it's this cute little baby. It's so bad. Yeah, I just don't think you can get away from the comic, like the Archie comics. Like some names are just so like Harry Potter, I feel.
And
like.
if that kid is a redhead, he is ruined.
Yeah, and Harry, like, he very well could have a light tinged hair, red hair.
He is done. Yeah,
I know.
Riverdale little buddy.
Yeah. Okay, I've got 2 more for you.
Come on with it.
Daisy Dove Bloom.
Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom. I mean, Adam Levine named his daughter Daisy, I think.
I thought that too. I actually like Daisy. I don't love
Daisy
it with
or
Bloom.
Dusty?
Oh, you're right. It's Dusty Rose. It's Dusty Rose.
I'm a huge Maroon 5 fan, so yeah.
Me too, but like, I don't love Dusty either, to be honest.
Dusty Rose, that's just a weird combination.
I know. And Daisy Dove, I just also feel like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem to fit together well. Like, I like names that fit together.
What's his, he has a son with Miranda Kerr, right?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
I know it was something weird there too.
It's nice, I think. Flynn Christopher Bloom. Flynn.
Eh?
I'm not naming my kid that, but I don't hate it.
Yeah. Nah.
It's neutral. I'm neutral on it.
I can't. I don't know. I'm 50-50 on that one.
Yeah, honestly.
Because my last name, it doesn't go with a lot of names, so you got to be careful what you put Thomas with, because you'll mess around and have 3 first names like I do.
It's okay. I think it's safe. It's safe. He'll be able to blend in when he becomes an accountant in 30 years.
I mean, yeah, Flynn, that carries a lot of weight. So, I mean, like my name, my cousins, they pick at me a lot because my name's Preston. My first name is Preston. So, a lot of people who meet me the name doesn't go with me. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird when somebody, because honestly, and just to be honest on here, like, I remember when I worked at Circuit City at one point back in the day, way back in the day, and a customer called and complained. He was like, "Well, who the fuck are you?" I'm like, "Well, my name's Preston." "Well, I'll be out there looking for you." So when he like, "I want to see Preston, and I want to see him now," I walked around the corner. I'm like, "How you doing, sir? I'm Preston." His eyes like, I'm like, "You okay?" He's like, "I didn't expect you to walk around the corner." I'm like, "Excuse me?" He's like, "I thought it was going to be some white guy walk around the corner." I'm like, "No." He was like, "You were very articulate on the phone." I'm like, "Okay. Like, can I help you?" Like, no. And he like left out the store. He was barking and just talking real shit on the phone. And when he came and he saw me, he was like, "Ooh, crap." Like, okay. Hey.
Oh my God. That's so awful for like 1,000 reasons.
Yeah, but he was like, "I expected a white guy to walk around the corner." I'm like, "No, you got me."
Yeah. Oh
like,
my
how you
God.
doing?
Oh my God. And he didn't want to get service from you?
No, it wasn't that. He was I guess he was afraid. I don't know. Like, he thought he was just gonna cower down some little scrawny white guy.
Yeah, with the name Preston.
Yeah. And then I walk around the corner, beard and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I didn't expect you to come around the corner." I'm like, "Well, you got me, buddy. Here's the name tag."
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like when I was growing up, I felt like my name didn't fit me either, but I feel like you grow into it. But I don't know, just from talking to you, I think Preston fits you. Like,
well, thank you.
Yeah, like truly. And I think like also just to like point out like I don't know, the microaggressions with like calling people articulate, like that's super, super inappropriate. And like,
I looked at him like, was I not supposed to be articulate?
Yeah, that's
like I know how to talk.
Yeah, that's a gross stereotype. And yeah, I just want to like not let that slip by us.
I thought it was funny when he said it. I just kind of looked. I was like, and it was funny because, like I said, my cousin. I'm either at a job with one of my cousins or I have a large family. Just to let you know. So my cousin, he was working there at the time. He looked, and when the guy said it, he kind of giggled. And then when the guy left, I turned around. I like, was I supposed to be offended by that? He like, cuz he said I had to be the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, dude was like legit scared because my cousin wasn't a small fellow. Like, he is like a big guy. And I'm just broad shouldered. I'm not a big guy. But he just looked, he was like, okay.
It's wild also just to think about the person calling and just having bravado and stuff on the phone and then just like, wanting to like intimidate somebody and then coming in.
He went from that big to that big.
100%. Yeah.
The funniest shit you could ever see.
It's tough to hear, but I think like, I don't know. I think that happens to people where, their name, people don't expect the person that comes with the certain name. Like, I don't know. People just have preconceived notions, I guess, with certain names and who the person is going to be. But nowadays, like, I think that that's so like old fashioned because there used to be all these rules for naming people, like kids and babies and stuff. Like there was all these rules and lineage and stuff like that. And now the world is your oyster. So we need to stop having these like,
It's funny too you say that because just thinking the whole name thing and all that. And like I say, you want to set your kid up for like prosperity and like, you know, happiness, wealth and all that good stuff. The good way. But when naming your kid, you have to be conscious of someone calling this kid that for the rest of their life. And you sometimes you set this kid up for ridicule and to be picked at and bullied because of their name. So you have to be careful and cognizant of that. And I'm a big fan of the Golden Girls too. Like I watch a lot of TV, dude. Like to know me is to love me. And my wife, she'll tell you I watch a shit ton of TV.
Me too.
And I like old shows, Golden Girls, all the way up to like Double Shot of Love with Paula and Bennett. Like I'll watch anything.
Yes.
And it's funny too because the lady at MTV who makes those shows, she follows me on Twitter because I talk a lot of shit about her shows, and she's just like, "You are hilarious." I'm like, "Hell, don't call me hilarious. Give me a contract and give me a show."
Yeah, you're like, hire me so I can consult on these TV shows.
Let me pitch you some ideas, but
I love that.
I watch everything, and it's 4 names you should never name your kid now, and that's Dorothy, Sophia, Rose, or Blanche.
Yeah. I feel like there are names that just are off limits. Like,
and those are 4 of them that are off limits.
100%. I'm gonna take this in a really weird direction, but my great grandpa, who was born in Michigan but lived in Washington, his first name was Adolf, like pre-Hitler. And when the Second World War happened, he immediately changed it to Mac. So, dark direction that we just went in. But, like, you just can't name your kids that, like, there's certain things that are just way off limits.
That's bad. You got to be careful. And who would have knew Adolf and that happens? And
totally.
He got to hurry up and change his name. Like,
yeah. No one's going to be naming their kids Donald in like next 50 years.
No, I think Donald is pretty much, that's a wrap on the Donald.
Yeah, that is a wrap. At least I freaking hope so.
But I mean, Pence. Let me see, Pence. Pence be a cool name to name a kid. Pence.
Yeah, Pence, Mike Pence. Yikes! I can't even.
But I'm saying though, a first name for I'm just since we're on the crazy baby
Yes,
names.
yeah. I can't even imagine. But I do like when people are creative or use like their mom's maiden name as their kid's like name, or like I love when people are creative like that. But I feel like some of these just go
Left.
above and beyond. The last name I have for you is Leah Michelle's kid, Ever Leo Reich, I think is the last name. I'm not 100% sure. What do you think of Ever Leo?
Ill.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that a good response?
Yeah, that is the lip curl is basically the response that I had when I read that. It's just kind of like, yeah, I don't love that. The dad's name is Zandy. Unsure if it's short for Xander.
It's Ever short for Everson, or
That's what I thought, because I actually really like the name. Speaking of also naming your kids after cities, I like the name Everett. And so I was thinking, oh, maybe it's short for something, but it truly is not.
it's just Ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Excuse my language, but what the fuck?
It, like, I'm assuming it's some type of like symbol for like forever.
Okay.
Or,
Ever
like,
Leo.
I don't know, like maybe something around like
Is this sign a Leo? Is he a Leo? Was he born in
I think he was. I think he was born in July.
fucking genius, I swear.
honestly. But yeah, Ever, I just think, yeah, like I'm assuming it's something about like forever, or like something about longevity or being together forever, something like that. But I don't know. It just doesn't, I don't know. I think it could be okay if it had a middle name to kind of, I don't know, round it out, but it just doesn't.
Yeah, it's a little, it's just a little dry. I mean, Ever Leo. It doesn't. It's not a good flow.
It isn't, and that's like crucial. I also just like, I'm getting panicky that the listeners are going to absolutely rip on us for like our pronunciation of these names. Like they're gonna be like, Torry, how did you think his last name was Reich when it's like Rich or something like that?
Hey, you got to go by with what you. There's no unless you Google it. That's the only way you're gonna get the.
I know. I was like, phonetically, this is what it looks like, so this is how we're rolling with it.
Tell them to help us out. We accept all comments, and we'll come back and retract everything.
Yeah. We'll state that this is all just like allegedly something that has happened. Can't confirm though.
If you put the legend in front of it, we good. We don't get sued with allegedly.
Exactly. The last thing we wanted to discuss was Dancing with the Stars. And like I said at the top of the show, I am shocked that this is something that I'm talking about, but here we are. I basically forced you to watch this.
It's all good, man. Like I said, I'll in order to engage and have this content on the show, I'll watch pretty much anything just so we can bounce it off and just dissect it in our own way and just have the content. Like I'm all for the content.
What did you think of it? Like you've never watched it before. This is your first episode.
Well, the thing I thought and help me out if you, because you watched it before, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I knew Erin Andrews used to be one of the hosts.
Yes.
And Erin Andrews is the coolest chick on the planet to me because she knows football like nobody's business. Like I look forward to seeing her on Sundays because she's just the coolest chick in the world besides my wife. To see her off the show and then to see him bring in Tyra Banks, and a lot of people weren't too happy about that.
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought this up because that was like juicy drama. Like, Tom Bergeron had been the host, I'm pretty sure, the
Since day
entire
one.
time, since day one, and Erin Andrews came in like a long time ago, like years ago. I think like minimum 5 years.
Yeah, I want to say like a quarter through the seasons, she came in and helped them out.
Yeah, like it could be close to 10 years.
And they had great chemistry. I remember seeing, I caught a glimpse of it one night on TV. I was flipping through, and I think it was when Emmitt Smith was on it.
Yes, yeah.
I'm a huge Dallas Cowboy fan. My dad and my brother named me after two of them, so I'm just a huge fan. That's where the name Preston Drew comes from. Preston
I
Pearson
love
and
that.
Drew Pearson.
I love that.
Yeah, that's where my name comes from. So I'm a huge Cowboys fan. So Emmitt Smith was on, and I think I caught him dancing. I remember seeing Erin Andrews and Tom Bergeron.
Yeah.
I remember seeing them on there, and to go into it now, and like I said, I watched it today when you said we were going to chat about it tonight, and I saw Tyra, and I'm looking, and like I said, I stay on Twitter all the time, and I'm seeing people like, why the hell is she on the show, and she has no knowledge of this stuff, and why she was a top model, she's not a ballroom dancer. And granted, Tyra took over for Nick Cannon when he got fired from America's Got Talent.
Yes, America's Got Talent. Yeah, you're totally right. Yeah, it was just weird because I don't think that there was anything wrong with Tom and Erin. Like, they had really good chemistry. They did a really good job, and they were kind of the mainstays of the TV show. And it seems like also they were told to like really last minute or basically fired in a really like an unceremonious way. Like it just it seemed like they were let go and they didn't really have a reason why.
I got fired over Zoom. Hell, that's the way they fire people now.
I know.
On the Zoom call, and hey, you're fired.
I was really surprised because I think that they had good chemistry, and they just like it was a well-oiled machine. So I wasn't super like, I don't love Dancing with the Stars. I watched the first handful of seasons and then fell off, and then I'm back because I like some of the cast. But it just seems really weird. I'm pretty neutral on Tyra. I actually really like her hosting abilities. Like, I think it's fine. I don't think she necessarily adds anything to the show that like Tom or Erin didn't have.
I think she's just a standby host. Like, if they miss a host, like, hey, call Tyra. She ain't doing shit. Hey, Tyra, I need you to come up.
It kind of seemed like that. Like, it seemed like there was no connection. And at the beginning of the TV show, in the opening, she was like, I've been such a fan and my family's been such a fan, but I was like, that it seemed like you had to shoehorn that in there because no one believes like why you're here.
Yeah. And to go back on what you said right there, like I watched some show on Fox one night, and it was like celebrities watch shows or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's how I mean, not to fall off topic because we're just going off on stuff, but I watched that show, and they were watching Selling Sunset one night, and it was Tyra and her mother, and then like Raven Simone, and then the Osbournes and somebody else just watching these shows, and watching Tyra watching shows, like, she's not fully engaged in it. So for her to say she was watching Dancing with the Stars, like, I don't see that.
I don't see it either. Like, I don't think she's the type of person that even like watches TV. Like, it doesn't, I don't see the connection, so I don't know why they swapped her out. They also went from 2 to 1 because they used to interview the stars a lot more, like pre and post dance. And yeah, they can't just do that with one host.
And did they changed one of the panelists too, right? One of the judges.
Yes. Len Goodman isn't there this year. But they do that in other seasons. They've had they've changed them out. It's usually kind of in the DWTS family. It does say Len Goodman is on here. Well, the premiere was just Bruno, Carrie Ann, and Derek.
Derek Huff, right?
Yeah, who was a dancer,
Okay.
Julianne's brother. He was one of the pros. But yeah, they do sometimes swap them out, or have like guest judges and stuff
Okay.
like that.
I knew I wasn't crazy. I'm like, hold on, something this ain't right about this.
Yeah, like Derek is definitely new to the judging side of it.
Okay.
But I think Julianne has been a host and stuff or a judge and stuff like that. So,
okay.
Yeah, they're trying something different. It's still weird during COVID. They're all like in a bubble, kind of like the NBA and stuff like that, which is just so funny to think about, like these professional athletes and then this Dancing with the Stars bubble.
That's smart though. That's smart. It's honestly, if you look at it, and like I say, I'm sorry about going off topic, but if
Don't
you
be.
look
That's
at
what this
it,
podcast is about.
if you look at it though, the NBA is the only, besides football right now, but the NBA has been the only sports that hasn't had to cancel a game due to COVID.
Totally.
But baseball has canceled plenty of games because they're traveling. Hockey.
Totally. Same
So,
deal.
Yeah, if you just put them all in a spot and say, hey, if you can handle it, the world is cut off for a couple months. Let's do what we got to do, make your money, and you can go home.
Yeah, I wonder if they upped the salary this year because they did have to quarantine. And have to
I think they got
continue.
some incentives. I'm pretty sure some incentives were doled out. Because that's one thing that COVID did. It kind of threw people's mental health off.
Completely.
I mean, being quarantined and a lot of people separated, got divorced, and all this, that. But some of it brought people closer together and brought families a little tighter. But these people had to be separated from their family. Like their family couldn't even come to the games and everything. And they trying to sneak women in all these places and. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's wild. I don't follow sports, but I might follow that. That's interesting.
It was one incident where a guy in Seattle, one of the rookies, he dressed a chick up to look like a dude to get past security.
Oh my God. The lengths people will go to, like, is like, I'm speechless, truly. I'm wondering if it's less strict for Dancing with the Stars because this is, again, a little bit off topic, but Caitlin Bristow was like seen having dinner with a bunch of Bachelor people the other night. So it's probably not as strict as like the NBA.
You can handle 3 weeks and not be around your people for that long just to do a show then, hey.
It's too long. Like I'm wondering if they are gonna have like some double eliminations or something like that. Like,
let's get into the dancers.
Yeah. Who was your favorite? Like, who stood out to you?
Sky Jackson.
Me too.
She was very crisp with her moves, if that's a word you use with dancing.
Yes.
And she was very fluid. Everything she did was very, like, her and her partner were just very fluid. It's like water that's moving.
Yes, and she's so tiny that they like added in some of those like lifts and stuff. I
Mm-hmm.
think you said to me that you think she's your winner pick. I honestly could see that.
Yeah, she was very, very, very fluid, and to see her, move like that, and not like I say, Dancing with the Stars is something where these people don't know these dances and they learn them, but you have to learn them in a short amount of time to do them. And she seemed like she's been doing that for a while,
I know.
but it
Do
didn't
you
look like she
think
was counting or doing anything. Like it was all in her head.
Yes, yes. Okay, that's what I thought too. Does she have a background in like gymnastics or skating or
I mean, she was on. My daughter loves her too. My youngest, she was on Jessie
yeah, Disney Channel?
and Bunked was her two
Yeah.
shows, and she wasn't very athletic on neither one of them shows. She was very clumsy on those shows.
That's so funny. Oh my god. Yeah, I really really liked her. I think she did really really well. The other person that I actually really enjoyed who scored so low was Nelly.
Oh, Nelly looked great.
I know. I know. Okay, so I watched with my mom and my sister and my dad, but he wasn't actually watching. And we watched it twice
Okay.
because we thought it was so good because it was really him. He did that backflip or front flip. He knew like he was so comfortable on stage.
Oh, but the funny part was, there must be the money.
Oh my God, that was so funny. Oh my God, it was, yeah. I think what I'm always looking for, because obviously I don't know the technical things, but it's just like, is it enjoyable to watch? And his totally was. So yeah, I hope he goes far. I thought that he got like a really low score compared to like other people that were just like actually really bad.
Yeah.
Like Carol Baskin,
Oh
just
my God.
not an ounce of rhythm in that lady's body.
I was looking like, why? And to see her score higher than he did, I'm like, are these
I
pity points?
It's because she needs to stick around for the ratings.
If you grasping for straws like that, you're going the wrong way.
Honestly, but I feel like this show always is. It was so bad. All of the tiger like rar
It was too much.
things. It's too much.
And one more person who kind of stood out was the Backstreet Boy, AJ
AJ McLean. Yes.
But honestly, did you see this when he jumps off the stairs? Did it look like he
Yes.
hurt his knee?
Yes. I'm literally died because I was like, I bet he's done that 1,000 times with Backstreet Boys. But because it's like he's older now and I just feel like he kind of stumbled and he's like, fuck my knee. And like, I get that. Like,
I'm like, bro, you done tore your meniscus. You got a bad ACL tear or something in there.
Oh my God. So I really enjoyed his too. And you can just tell the people that have stage presence and then the people that don't. The one thing is just I think he leaned too much into the Backstreet Boys dancing and it's just not
too stiff.
ballroom. Yes, yeah.
And look
It's
at it.
just
We sound like we're the judges right now. It was just too stiff.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. I think also though the people that are kind of from a similar background like skating or singing or whatever, gymnastics, like they must have a pressure to do extra well because they kind of have like they know how to count and like listen to the music and know when the beat is and like that type of stuff.
Yeah. And go back to Sky. Sky was just very fluid.
Yeah. And just enjoyable to watch. And I think that her dance was really like her. Like it seemed really fun and personable. So yeah. Are you familiar with Caitlin Bristow?
I saw her. I don't know who she. That's the Bachelorette, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. She's probably, her and Chriselle are probably the real reasons that I'm tuning in. I enjoy a lot of the other people, but
I like Chriselle on Selling Sunset. I didn't really give her a dance a chance because I'm like, you're not gonna be on here long.
it was bad.
Yeah,
It might have been one of the worst, to be
I
honest.
didn't.
And I
I didn't
love
really watch it.
Chriselle. I'm Team Chriselle, and we know Davina and Christina are just dying that she's on the show.
I read the other day, and I'm gonna be so petty. I'm glad I'm on.
Oh, I go in.
So I read the other day that Davina is this straight up fraud. Like her age.
Yes. She's
Um,
42 and they said she was 30 or whatever.
they said she's 30. Where she lives, like she lives in this like not a real bad apartment, but it's not like some upscale spot where they claim to, like they say Selling Sunset is a bunch of shit.
Yeah, yeah. It's so tough because I do believe that they're real estate agents
They
at
are. I
this
mean, if you actually
firm.
look them up, they are. And the Oppenheim,
Yeah, the Oppenheim group is
okay,
real,
it's real.
but
Yeah.
I don't think much of it is real beyond that.
I saw that because I can't remember what I was reading or who said it. But I'm like, what the? Let me look this shit up. Like, I gotta, because my brother always said we had a fact checking episode on the Global Unknowns one time
I love that. I love that.
because we hate people to tell us something. And my wife is notorious. Well, did you see such and such flew to the moon? Like, who the hell told you that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I read it on he said, she said.com. Like, like,
Yeah,
know your
you're like,
source.
that's yeah.
Know your source.
Oh my
But
god, that is so funny.
yeah, I tell her all the time, know your source before you say something. Like, don't just
Yeah.
spew bullshit, and some people call you out on it. I didn't really watch Chriselle's thing, but The Bachelorette, I watched a snippet. I was trying to like just look at certain things just so I knew if you hit me with it, I know what I was talking about.
That's smart. Caitlin, I think why I wanted to just bring it up is that it's a really big deal that she's on the show, just because all of the bachelors were offered Dancing with the Stars contracts when they came off her season, but the bachelorettes were not.
Wow.
I think that the producers said like they need to focus on like their relationships with the guy that they chose. They kind of had a change of heart with Hannah Brown last year, and then now it's more open, so they cast Caitlin. So it's a really big deal, and she used to be like, now probably 10 years ago, but she used to be a dance instructor.
So she has a little bit of advantage then.
Yeah, totally. So she kind of has some of that background. So I think like she competitively danced when she was a kid and maybe a teenager too. So I don't think it was ballroom at all, but yeah, again, she'll know how to kind of do those basics and stuff like that, those core pieces of dance. So yeah, it's actually, she's probably the reason truly that I decided to tune in.
All right. Well, I mean, I'll keep tabs on it. I won't really watch it. Yeah. I'll see who gets cut and who's on the show.
Yes, honestly, I might have to do the same. Or I'll just YouTube like the specific people that I want to watch. I doubt that I can watch like full episodes. Like I just
they're like 2 hours long, aren't they?
They're so long, and it's just it's too much, and it's not, because they do like a 15-minute package before the person's dance, and they go through all the rehearsals and stuff, and I'm not interested in that. Was there any other people that you were like interested in or that stood out to you?
Oh, and yeah, we were gonna be petty about the dude's kids who put the damn commercial right before she came
Oh,
on.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. So, what Preston is referring to is Carol Baskin's like allegedly murdered her husband and their family. Like, they have not found any evidence. It's like an open case, and their family paid like thousands of dollars to run a advertisement in Florida during Dancing with the Stars, basically asking for information about the alleged murder.
It's the daughters and the former assistant
Of the murdered man.
and
And
Torry. It's weird to me. I mean, we chatted about it, and we were like, I wonder how much they paid. I mean, you pay $1 million for a 15-second spot during the Super Bowl. So for this being a prime time, I guarantee they had to drop at least a good $750,000.
that's what I was thinking. Like, I was thinking, this is so expensive. How did they just have those funds? And the commercial is like a well-produced commercial. Like, they just had it like ready.
They had that in the tuck, like in the chamber, that's ready to fire shot off.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it was like a well-lit, fully produced commercial that they had ready to go.
Yeah, it was strange, and after watching the Tiger King and all that kind of stuff, and Joe with his whole, she killed and Carol Baskin killed her husband and blah 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 blah. But it makes you think it now.
Yeah, it truly does. I am probably the only person in the world that didn't watch Tiger King. Laura Beth, one of my previous podcast guests, tried to pitch me on it, and I just never followed through. Sorry,
That
Laura
has
Beth.
to be the funniest shit.
I know. I think I will eventually watch it. I think I was just like, it was everyone talking about it, and I just could not do it. But yeah, it's not looking great for Carol.
And I mean, they are hell bent on pretty much saying this woman to let a tiger eat this man, done hit him across the head with a shovel or something. Like,
2020 is so fucking weird. Like, it's so weird.
nothing surprises me now.
No, nothing surprises me. The one thing that would surprise me, though, is if she made it to like episode 2. She was so bad.
I guarantee you. Like you said, ratings.
And I think this is like kind of a nice time to wrap up. Like, it's been so much fun chatting with you and getting your perspective on things. And I know a lot of times we're just shooting the shit about superficial, junky TV and stuff like that. But yeah, it's nice to connect with someone on the other side of the world almost. Yeah. It seems that way. And like, yeah, I'm so glad that, we got a podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, now I'm more than willing to come back on, and I'll definitely have you on with the fellas one day, and we'll try to.
I would love that. Yeah, I'm down to talk about anything. I'll do my research just like you did for this one. And I'm gonna try to post more on like Instagram and stuff. So I'll include if you continue watching Dancing with the Stars, or if there's anything else wild that happens, I'll include your thoughts there.
Okay, yeah, we can keep it going, and let's build each other up, man. It's been a pleasure and an honor to be on here with you. I just in closing though, just with the whole podcast thing, like, there's no such thing as a big podcast or a small podcast. We're all in this together, and just a simple hello and reaching out brought me and Torry together, and just gave some great content. And this has been probably one of my favorite episodes I've ever done, because I mean, we've done 26 on my podcast now. Yeah. And this is one of my favorites right here. And to be honest with you, once my brother hears about this, he's gonna be like super pissed. Like, dude, like, Yeah, we gotta have her on, and yeah.
Good. I'm glad that you think that. And yeah, that's so true. Like there's such a community in podcasting, or that's what I hope I put out into the world. And yeah, like everyone's just doing their kind of, I don't know, their best and putting something out into the world, which is scary.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's so nice hearing from other podcasters or listeners. It's why we do this. Like connecting with other people is, if you like really think about it, is why we podcast. So yeah, it's been so nice to connect with you.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. And just the seeds we plant in the ecosystem, and just watching this thing grow together. And it's an honor, man. And I've enjoyed this, and I haven't, like, on my podcast, and it's the Global Unknowns podcast on Spotify and Anchor. It's just 3 dudes with a podcast that's spreading a little light on the world from our perspective. And we are some fools. I'm telling you now, we are some class A clowns.
I like it. It's like the family dynamics, like especially for people that don't have siblings or whatever, or people that do and can relate. It's really good. So everybody go check it out. Thank you again so much for coming on.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. I can't wait to do it again.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Ready to Be Petty. If you like what you heard today, join our Facebook group and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at RTBP Podcast. I hope you are healthy and well. As always, I'm your host, Torry, and I am ready to be petty. See you soon. Bye.